Hello, welcome to Sporting Jibberish. I'm Stu Booth.
I'm Jack Luffman. How are we?
You shouldn't sneak them little comments in just about to start to record. It's unfair. It's highly unprofessional.
It's testing you.
Highly unprofessional.
Testing you.
Apart from that, I'm good. How are you keeping?
Yeah, good mate. Long week, busy week. They're going faster.
I know. This strange. This is the first time we've seen since Bingo Bongo.
No, it's just last Friday.
Oh well, yeah, the podcast.
Yeah. How was the weekend at Atlantis?
Oh, unbelievable. So they got the suite that has the underwater aspect to it. So they've 3 floors in their room. So opening, you go in, it's like a foyer, and it has an elevator. Or you can go down the steps.
Like made of money or what?
Oh no, they got this free as a competition. So then you go down the first set of steps, it's like a living room, television's massive, loads of free stuff flying about the place. And then you have a further couple of steps down which takes you underwater. So their bedroom is underwater, which I was like, is this not a bit freaky just sitting there watching fish? But he's like, it's actually quite soothing. And then I sat there for a bit, I was like, it is, you actually have a sofa looking out of the window.
Well, I remember my uncle, he had a fish tank. I remember years ago.
Yeah, it's not the same as a fish tank, but this is
but
Atlantis.
But the principle was the same. That you used to sit and watch the fish, and it was meant to be quite. Well, it was quite relaxing and that. But yeah, what if that great big shark they've got there?
Well, there's not just one. There's like 3 of them. But yeah, it was good. It was good to catch up with them. But they've gone back to Blighty now in preparation for Monday. Rest in peace.
Oh, yeah.
You forgot. Did you forget completely?
Well, I was just like, why were they going back for Monday?
No, they weren't.
Made a special trip back for Monday.
It wasn't for me. Right, let's start with Sporting Week.
Yeah.
We are just waffling.
Yeah, I like a bit of a waffle.
Yeah, but I think
because we've not seen each other, Stu.
People at home will be like, oh my god, when's they going to start? Right, we're starting. We're on. Right, okay. Sporting Week. So you had a cricket fixture last Saturday morning. The Luff Squire donned the old Wanderers kit and got out there with his fat finger.
Yeah.
Look, he's having a look at it now. Every time you talk about cricket, he just looks sorry, looking at himself. What a sore finger.
It's just so bad. Anyway, good run out. Won.
It was the same team you played the previous week.
Same team played previous week. They again sort of just had the 11, played it as like a win-lose kind of thing, which is absolutely fine. Not a problem with that. We had probably arguably a stronger 12 than the previous week. But actually, I was impressed with us. We looked decent, and it wasn't a full first team. We had Brannan, who wasn't there, who sort of tweaked an ankle in training the previous week, so he's back. He's playing this weekend, so it wasn't quite a full first team. And again, Dave did the right thing and gave everybody a bowl who needed a bowl, and we retired people on my batting. But very impressive. We actually technically bowled them out for 109.
Okay, I was going to say, please tell me you got retired and you didn't get out.
I got retired, yeah. But we bowled them actually out for 109, so apparently the week before they'd agreed that we'd bat first last week, and then the previous week, and then we'd field first. So we actually bowled them out for 109, of which Clint took 3 of the first 4 wickets. Oh my goodness me. He's been in the gym.
Was it?
Yeah, he's not a small guy, I know he's never going to be a small guy, but he's got rid of he's just toned up a little bit. He's lost a little bit of timber, but he bowled quick on a slightly docile pitch. Hit one in the helmet, nicked their best player off, bowled the other best player.
No such thing as a friendly?
Yeah, I think he obviously, because Savannah Lions are quite a lot of South Africans, so I think there's a bit of rivalry there. But he looked really, really impressive. And then we've got a new left arm spinner called Abdullah, who apparently has returned to the UAE from Pakistan, but actually played for the UAE 7-8 years ago.
Wow.
A couple of games, so he looked good. So yeah, we looked good. We actually technically bowled them out for 109, as I said, but then we allowed them to bat the 25 overs, so they set us 180 to win, and we got there in the last over. Actually, Ash hit a 6 to win, but as I say, we mixed the order around. We tied people and what have you, so it was all good.
Good. Before we move on to mine, I was just going to say, I saw the announcement, so you've got 2 teams in. Exciting time. So fielding 2 teams, one in DSL2, one in DSL3.
Yeah.
Ash taking up the role as skipper of DSL3 team.
Yeah, he is captain tomorrow. We've not really necessarily got a captain of that side. There's the second team in inverted commas, but obviously being a senior player, and at the minute Ash has changed his job, so he's working for a Saudi Arabian company out of Saudi Arabia, although sort of a bit there and a bit here. So his working week is still Sunday to Thursday. So he's captain this week, but I don't think he'll be able to skip it next week because their game is on Sunday.
Okay. But I did see a crossover a few names.
Yeah, because at the minute we've not. The ideal model is to try and model it like I'm modelling the table again, like we would do in England, 2 sides on the same day at the same time. But I think we could do that. We could ask DSL to do that for us. But at the minute that would probably be a little one step too far to stretch our resources. We've got like about 50, 60 people on the group, but obviously they're not all members, they don't want to play, etc. So, but we have got 2 sides there. Even managed to all 3 of our junior lads from Abu Dhabi have been called into the UAE under-19 camp tomorrow.
Exciting times.
2 of them are playing tomorrow, so they've had to pull out. Ethan was already playing for Sunday, so he's okay. So we've had to then sort of repick 2 others, and we've managed to do that. So that's a good sign. Frustrating, hard work for Ash, but a good sign that effectively we've got people that want to step in. So yeah, it's exciting. Tomorrow morning, so I'm going to make the trip to Ajman and see him go. I'm not going to stay all day, all morning, but I'll make the trip there and see him go, and then the first team play on Sunday against Z Games. Now we're led to believe that it's the UAE under-19 team in disguise.
Wow.
We'll see. But yeah, looking forward to it. And another, it seems to be like pivotal moments in the Dubai Wanderers history, and it's certainly another one this weekend.
Excellent, good stuff.
And when I arrived today, I said, "You look knackered." He said, "Yeah, tired from football last night." So.
Yeah, it was. I think the problem is at the moment. Yeah, we had another game last night. We played the Redbacks, and I think Redbacks finished bottom last year. I'm pretty sure they did, but according to pre-season rumours, they've revamped, reshuffled, brought in a lot of new players, and there was a lot of new lads there. And they'd actually beaten Bears the week before. 2 weeks prior, 6-0.
The Bears, the Grizzly Bears.
Yeah, the
Bears.
Well, the Bears that we beat, 5 or 6-0. Redbacks had beaten them. I think 4-5 now. I think the guy said to me. But we had a decent team out. We just unfortunately can't seem to get. I think we've got like a squad of 16 to 18 players, but we just can't seem to get everybody there at the moment. So we had Pooley was there, who we missed last week, the lad that used to play for United.
Yeah.
Soufiane, who was the class Algerian guy, wasn't there. We had a trialist last night, Taki.
Tiki-taki?
No, his name is Takiyaso. Played division.
Oh, this is the guy.
Japanese Pro League. He played last night, so we had him.
Grampus 8?
No, he didn't play for Grampus 8. I've got found his stuff on Wikipedia actually, really bizarre. Well, the gaffer did. He played, and then Robin, who played up front the week before, was gone to play for the new DHL team as a trial. One of the midfielders has also gone over. So we're still having that. But the interesting thing was last night, I joke you not, in patches, some of the football we played was phenomenal. If one of the moves that we did, we've been working a lot on playing it in, setting and moving really quickly. So we're kind of playing with 2 up front at the moment, which is causing defences all sorts of problems.
My Bassett style.
Well, I kind of drop in, so I kind of become almost like a number 10 to play into that role, and T pushes a bit higher. But then Pools also pushes on, and then we kind of swap places. So if I drop in deep to take that first touch, he'll go beyond. So we've always got runners, so it's in, set, move, then we do that. And there was a spate of about 15 passes. The last set of passes, probably the last 4, were all one touch. And it's come to me, I've gone outside of the right foot to play it into the centre forward. Well, it wasn't, I was aiming for Seals, but then it came into centre forward. He ran past it as a dummy. Seals had run onto it, volleyed it, and it's gone about this far wide. And it would have been probably one of the best team goals I've ever been involved in. It was class. But yeah, Taki looks decent, looked a bit ring rusty, and he did say he'd only been in the country a couple of weeks. But I think it's going to be a great asset. Lots of energy, defender, but he can play left wing back. He'll be a really good asset. Pooley last night was just another level. But yeah, we ended up winning 6-1 in the end.
And did you score?
Yeah, it was really bizarre one, whereas I was playing really well, interlinking, getting really well, but then we just wasn't getting that final pass back. So there was one where we'd done a really good build-up play, played it into P, I'd gone for a return and his pass was too far forward, it overran for a goal kick. Then there was another one where T had gone through, had peeled, and he'd gone square, but played it hard square. Well, it wasn't really square, it was like 10 yards in front of me, so I couldn't get on the end of that. It was just one of them. I was thinking, it's not going to drop to me. Anyway, we break in the second, Pulleys lift one over, and as it's coming, I'm like, header, diving header. Oh, it's a volley. And then I've ended up smashing to bottom corner. But again, it was really another good little bit of teamwork, but looked sharp. And then on the pitch, opposite us was the DHL team. And then as we came off, some of their players were coming over, and they're obviously our ex-players. And look, they've gone to set up their own team, blah, blah, but you play with them for so long, you still sell off. So I ended up bumping into Gareth, who's now their gaffer. I was like, how did you get on? He said, we played the Bears. I was like, how did you get on? He said, we lost 5-3. I was like, ooh, that's interesting. And then it came out with, we're missing 2 or 3 players. I was like,
did you try and sign you?
No interest at all. But yeah, missing 2 or 3 players and then get pumped off the Bears, and the Bears are all right, but we're sticking 6 past them.
So sometimes fresh starts is what people need. Eh?
Well, the funny thing was then as I came out of the change room, I bumped into Robin. I was like, oh, you picked a bad day to move to another team, didn't you? And he was like, I was just trying it out, just seeing what it was like. I expect Robin will probably come creeping back.
Robin, with Batman?
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah,
well,
good.
There we go.
So, we've got the 3rd team next week, our own 3rd team.
Your own 3rd team.
And maybe a few social beers next Thursday night. And then
good.
I think we have got one more friendly, and then it's season's underway.
Brilliant.
But
and then that's it.
If we can get Sufyan and Pooley in the middle of the park, I can't see there being a better midfield in
there we
our
go.
division.
You heard it here first.
Come on,
get your bets on all stars.
But I can imagine that Sufyan's probably been approached by any Tom, Dick and Harry at the moment. Yeah. But he said he enjoyed playing. But yeah, Taki's good.
Is there any money flying about not in your league, but in the high, like the high leagues?
No, it's a lot of the lads end up then getting taken for by City or Gulf United that are in the Pro League.
The one
so
below,
they'll take all the best players. But we watched City were training on the pitch. So the bizarre thing is City, I think, came in Division 3, moved into Division 2, and then the restrictions get tighter. So the team that they used a lot of the DAFL top players to get them out of that division into the next division, and then they've gone, you can only have 4 overseas players, and last year you could have a full squad of them. So they've lost all the players and they've just had to bring our artists in.
Right.
So we were watching them doing a few drills, and I was like, I think we'd give them a game.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting.
But yeah, all good on that front. Right.
Before you go on, I've got a question for you.
Go on.
Is AJ Fury going to happen?
Yes, I think so. I think there's no reasons for it. Fury's basically covered any outs.
Yeah.
And AJ's come back and said, I don't have an issue with this, let's get it on. There's only one winner.
Yeah.
Fury's going to end.
AJ's got nothing. Well, I think that's the point. I think whatever happens, I think maybe, they've not agreed, have they? But I think, and there'll always be a rematch clause in it, but I think they've both maybe come to the conclusion that this is it. Whoever wins, whoever loses, this is both careers are done. I
think Fury could still pan out a few more years.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they couldn't. I just think.
I think AJ's it's game over after this one. It's probably his last swan song.
Yeah.
And this is the funny thing about heavyweights is that Fury is by far the favourite, but if a heavyweight catches you right, all right, maybe Fury got a little bit lucky with that Wilder one where he got up on the number 9. It looked like the Undertaker, didn't it?
But yeah, they're right. That's the thing. That's the difference, isn't it? That he only takes. That's why AJ lost the first Ruiz fight.
Yeah, Fury,
he got one on the top of the head, and that was it. But I hope it happens. It looks like it's going to happen. December. There's the 3rd or the 17th. There's a bit of a.
Well then that clashes with the World Cup, doesn't it?
17th. Are they going to do 17th? Mind you, World Cup finals 18th, so there'll be nothing on the 17th. The semi-finals have been done.
I'm at a wedding that day.
Yeah, I'm not. So interesting, but it'd be good for British boxing. Everybody wants to see it.
Oh, we're out of shadow. Right, okay, we'll done our Fury thing. We'll go with
I just wanted to ask you that.
Yeah, right. Well, that was on our agenda, but we'll talk a little bit about football. Some about cricket. Federer is put down. I'm not sure what for. I must have missed the news. I'm big busy working, man. I don't have time to read the news.
Director of sport, not reading the sports news.
George. I don't get quizzed every day about the sport. Yeah, director of nothing. But yeah, we'll start with the Premiership. Where obviously games off last weekend. We've lost two or three Premiership games for this weekend, based upon what's happened with the Queen.
Policing,
I think it's more policing is the bigger issue. I saw something the other day saying England is definitely best at queuing, and there's people queuing over 9 hours to see a coffin.
It's right. I think now it's beyond an over Tower Bridge or something. It was ridiculous. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? I respect her. Hands out. If I was in the UK and we didn't like in Scotland, it came through our village. Would I try and see it if I was about? Yeah, I would. Of course I would. Would I queue to look at a coffin? No thanks.
A closed coffin that you're not going to see.
No
Who's
thanks.
to say that's not just an empty box?
Well, it's been said. I've actually said that. But
Let's put a few of them dotted about.
yeah, but no,
Which box is the right box?
Let's go with football for goodness sake.
Okay, right. So
We get
tonight,
ourselves in trouble.
Yeah. So tonight is games for us, but tomorrow you'll know the result.
Yeah.
So we've
When you
got
hear this.
Villa versus Southampton. I think, and I've seen your prediction. I think Villa will sneak this one.
Yeah, I think I'll put a draw then,
I think so. I don't have your
I think
results to
I'll
hand.
put a draw.
But yeah, I think it's a big one. I think Gerrard will probably just maybe able to eke out a result in this one.
Yeah, I'll put a draw. Yeah.
And then we've also got Forest versus Fulham.
So I've gone opposite to you. I just fancy Forest, and I think the week off for Forest might have done him a bit of good with the new signings.
Okay.
And Fulham are hit and miss. But I tell you one thing, whatever happens, I think that's a must-win game for Forest.
I think
if they don't win it,
I think more so for Forest because Fulham have had a decent start.
100%.
And then we move to Saturday. So we've got Wolves versus City. I think we both went for a City win. I think that Wolves have a little bit of something over.
And what if Costa plays as well?
Well, Costa, Traore always steps up against City.
Imagine Costa making his debut and like bullying John Stones and
Well, he's
whoever.
more than capable.
Yeah,
but
he is.
I just have a feeling that City might just scrape that one. I was going to put a draw. But
I think City will win,
I think I
but-
bottled it in the end. But I think I've gone 2-1. I think you've got 4-0. haven't you?
Yeah, I still fancy. I just think they're so good at the minute.
Yeah. Another game that's off: Brighton versus Palace.
That's-
Brighton, no sign of Gaffer yet.
No.
So,
Do you know what as well? I mean, I've been busy, so I've not been looking at the news. But I've not seen any rumours about who they're looking at either.
no.
I think Pochettino would be a great fit for them.
I think more likely to go Dyche. I think Poch might be too expensive.
Yeah, I know so, but I think the way that
But they
Potter
have.
started with them and the way that he would be a better fit than Dyche, wouldn't he?
But it
Unless,
would be-
of course, Dyche changes his start with better players.
But Brighton have links with Belgium, so there
Yeah.
may be somebody from their
Yeah.
sister club that they may
Yeah,
be looking at bringing over. So keep an eye on that one. But it's probably a good postponement for Brighton, I think.
Yeah, it gives them a bit more time, definitely.
Yeah, to sort
and it's,
of-
what's that? Brighton, Crystal Palace is something like the M.
Is this the
The
M55
Yeah, the
derby or
M3
something?
derby, the M2
It's something
derby.
stupid,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
A nothing known derby.
No, but they reckon it's absolutely.
Oh, they reckon
wild,
it'll go crazy.
Yeah,
Saw that on that Palace.
yeah. Great.
Eagles
Talking
there,
of documentary, I've been watching that Welcome to Wrexham with Ryan Reynolds. That's quite funny. He takes nothing seriously in life, by the way.
No, have you not seen his Twitter account with his wife?
Yeah, brilliant.
Just
And
abuse
then
each other.
I've also caught up with, and I've not seen it on with the Class of '92 full time. You know, because they moved it from BBC to Sky.
Alright.
So I think it's season 3 and season 4. So season 3 is the curtailed COVID season, and then halfway through the next season. But I tell you what comes out of that just quickly is two things. One, Paul Scholes doesn't care. So at one point, Neville's doing his nutting about the fact that when they've gone to League Two, that they've had a crap recruitment summer, and he's doing his nut in this board meeting, and Scholes has got like a Sharpie and just nicking it and putting it in Phil Neville's ear all the way. Phil Neville's getting angry, and then in the next episode they sack another manager, so Scholes takes over as manager. The guy on the camera doing a documentary goes, "So Paul, what are you going to do with the lads today?" You went, "Play football." Like, no, just doesn't care. And Neville, for all he says about, has sacked 3 managers in these 2 series.
Jeez. I tell you, it was interesting. I was speaking to a guy
Brilliant.
who used to play for Swindon, I used to play with Phil Neville, and he was saying he's the best player he's ever played with.
Yeah.
He said that he would have. He said that when he played with Phil Neville was a striker.
Really?
And he kept moving around. He said that if he'd had one position like Gary, as a fullback right from the get-go, because Gary, he said he would have been as good as Gary, but because they moved Phil around a lot.
I mean, Ferguson, I've seen Ferguson rated him highly, and obviously he played a lot for England as a left-back. We didn't have a left-back at that point. And then, obviously, the Everton fans adore him, don't they? And when he moved there, he did a great job. Yeah.
So maybe one of them underrated players.
Potentially, yeah. Anyway, we digress. Sorry.
Yes, other game, Newcastle versus Bournemouth. Can't see anything other than Newcastle win, to be honest.
That's just sure.
I just don't think Bournemouth have got enough about them. And Newcastle have been playing really well lately. Yeah. I tell you another one. Burns is a good signing for them. Or Burn.
Dan Burn, yeah. He's massive, isn't he?
Oh, he's like 7
See, that's where your Harry needs to move to.
Yeah.
Left
What,
back.
to Newcastle?
Yeah, left. Well, yeah. Do you a bit good, wouldn't it?
Well,
less hassle.
Harry.
He'd be on Geordie Shore.
Harry and the P will be causing havoc everywhere.
He'd be on Geordie Shore.
Definitely can't release Harry.
Shouldn't be like, what is going on?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we can't let him loose in Newcastle. It'd be disaster.
He's a canny lad.
Yeah. Grandkids popping out left, right and centre. Right. So I think the Toon will win that game. Right, other game on that day, Spurs versus Leicester. I think everybody in the world will probably say this is the banking 3 points at home, but Leicester are desperate.
Yeah.
See, I don't think you can completely write them off. I still think you guys will win, but I think it may prove a little bit harder to get over the line.
I've said it all year, and we might just mention briefly champions. They've said it all season. I don't think Spurs have been at their, I'm not going to say electric best because I don't think, but the best moving forward on the counter attack. Like all of the forwards have shown glimpses, and that's
from Son.
Yeah, and that's although he did play fairly well in the last Premier League game, but still not at his best. You know, showing glimpses, which is clearly our strength. You know, nothing else. We're based on being tight at the back and then counter-attacking with the 3-4, whatever. So you know, and we didn't play very well in Champions League the other night. Leicester are itching to go. They've had extra time. You know, I don't think it's a given. But if you're Spurs, you've got to win it.
You've got to be thinking if you want to be pushing top 4 or higher.
Correct.
It's got to be 3 points.
Push off, yeah.
Right. Then we move to Sunday. Brentford versus Arsenal. And I know you've got an Arsenal win on this one. But I think that Brentford have just got that, especially when it's a top 4 team or a top 6 team, that have that little bit of something that they step up to. And I think they're going to maybe bombard Arsenal.
Oh yeah, change the style a bit.
A lot of balls in at the back post and try and see what. Gabriel's decent in the air going forward, and I think they're going to test him. I think Brentford might sneak away with a point.
Well, I hope so. But a bit of a London derby, the fans will be up for it at home. So, and of course, your man got his call up.
Tony, yeah, my mate Tony.
Yeah,
I don't really know him. He's not my mate. But other game would be Man United Leeds, so we'll just bypass that one. Everton versus West Ham. I think this is another intriguing game. Moyes going back to Goodison. Everton scratching around needing the points. West Ham have been hit and miss. Won again in Europe last night.
Yeah.
That Scamacca scored again. Yeah. Can't get a sniff in the Premiership.
I've got Everton to win that. I fancy Everton on Sunday. Because what you said, I think West Ham is just so inconsistent. And particularly away from home, I don't think. The only thing being that away from home, it might suit them on the counter if Everton sort of pour. But I don't think Everton are going to pour forward because they're too kind of, insecure with what they're doing at the minute, aren't they, as well?
Well, I was just having a look, just double checking there because I wasn't sure if I'd put a draw, but I've actually gone the same as you. Everton just sneak it. And this question here, it should have been Chelsea versus Liverpool. What a game that would have been.
Yeah.
But who does this benefit more? Chelsea with a new manager in place, Potter gets a little bit more time, or is it Liverpool considering how not Liverpool they are at the moment?
Injuries. Probably suits them both, if I'm honest. Because like I say, it gives a bit longer with Potter with Chelsea. Although probably you might argue, do you know what? It might be a good time to play Liverpool. He'd have the crowd with him. It's not like he's got a good squad of players, so. You would argue potentially it was a good time to play Liverpool.
So you think Chelsea potentially lost out then?
I would say so. I think Liverpool have gained more from that. Being the fact that, like you said, they're not very Liverpool-y at the minute. They've got some injuries still to return, and they're away from home.
Yeah. Right. We'll hold Premiership there. We'll come back and have a little look at fantasy football later on. We're just going to quickly run through the results from the Champions League. Liverpool getting a result. Did wait until the 89th minute. No. I'm refusing to watch any games at the moment on an evening time, based upon my own playing time, work, and the fact that the first few group stages games are almost. You don't lose.
Problem is,
don't win.
It's not as bad the time though until.
No, you were all right because you had the other kickoff.
Yeah, but in 3 weeks it's. 4 weeks.
It goes bad. But I did think about it simply because we'd not had a game the week before, so I did think about it. I did wake up at a certain point. It was something past 12, and I clicked on, and Matip had just scored. Yeah. But then I switched my phone off. But I think for Liverpool, important 3 points more than anything else.
Win to win.
Especially with the fact that Rangers got spanked again off Napoli, so then it allows Liverpool that little bit of breathing space now because we've got Rangers home and away next, so expect them to pick up 2 points.
Big good games then. Nice to see the two big sides that play against each other.
Liverpool there's no particular loyalty with Liverpool, Rangers, Liverpool, Celtic, but we seem to kind of get on well with both sets of fans. It's not really a great deal of like.
Probably more Celtic you in bed with because of Catholicism.
Potentially, but I don't think there's an actual issue with the Rangers boys either. So that aspect, and I think I'll shout out the results, but I think there's ones that we'd rather talk about. Leverkusen 2, Atletico Madrid 0. Great result for Leverkusen. Porto 0, Club Brugge 4. I don't think anybody'd seen that come in. No. Victor Plzen 0, Inter Milan 2. Bayern 2, Barcelona 0. Which is the return of Lewandowski, who was 0 on the goal scoring chart. But then Mane's not scored either.
No.
I think it was Sané, wasn't it? And somebody else that scored. And then your boys losing 2-0 to Sporting Lisbon. But even more bizarre than that, the fact you lost, is to concede in the 91st minute and 93rd
So,
minute.
Wasn't a particularly good game. Lisbon actually had some glimpses, mostly through Marcus Edwards, who we got rid of. In fact, he had one run.
Do you reckon
Mate, it was like Maradona. It was like Maradona's got in the '86 World Cup when Peter Reid, Terry Fenwick should have chopped his legs off.
Yeah.
It was like that. Honestly, it was class, and it was a good save in the end. But it was a bit of one of them games that nothing. Spurs weren't good, but they missed some chances, and then ultimately that cost them because there's a goal in the 90. A shot in the 91st, 92nd minute that Lloris made a great save from, and they've not. It's interesting. They picked up on it that the defenders are celebrating, and he's kind of telling them to get their head on it. And I don't know whether they did. He's done Emerson at the near post with a good header. Just come on as a sub. He's there. I don't remember his name now. He's been out injured, but coming on as a sub, one of his first touches, good header. And then we've got caught on the break a little bit, and Emerson has defended it poorly again. So. Disappointing result, not a great performance, but you'd have taken a 0-0 away in the Champions League, wouldn't you?
What's going on with Legland?
Yeah, I don't know because he played.
He's on the bench.
He played the 2 games last week. He played against I can't remember it was Fulham, wasn't it, in the Premier League, and then he played last week at home in the Champions League. And then he played Davis. I don't know whether he was on the bench. I don't know if it was a bit of rotation or something. I don't know. But
because I was looking at putting him in for my draft.
Yeah, he looked class. I think he'll play at home on Saturday. Spurs still not got enough quality. I don't think in the wide fullback areas, particularly the wide. Perisic played well. He's got good quality, but on the right hand side.
You know, put Sessignon out there. Is it because he's so too left-footed? He'd have to come in.
Yeah. Well, he's got young Spence and Doherty. I mean, I'd give one of them to him now, because although Emerson has improved, I will give him that. He's still dog dirt.
Okay, right. Okay, we'll move on to Wednesday's games. We mentioned before Rangers got spanked, lost 3-0 to Napoli. AC Milan winning 3-1. Chelsea won. FC Red Bull Salzburg won. I can imagine that Potter wouldn't have been impressed the fact that they'd drawn the game, but what's interesting is Mason Mount got the assist.
Yeah, so he's back in the front.
Is he?
Is he sort of player, isn't he?
Yeah. Shakhtar Donetsk won, Celtic won. It's a good result in order for Celtic to still keep them dreams alive, even though they lost their first game.
And they're quite fancy playing Chelsea at the minute, weren't they?
Yeah. Real Madrid 2, Leipzig 0, Copenhagen. I was trying to say Koppenberg.
Koppenberg, yeah.
Thinking about the wrong thing here. Yeah. Copenhagen 0, Seville 0. City beat Dortmund.
The man.
Jude scores, and did you see the clip at the end of the game? Haaland's then gone and scored an absolute world. You can tell those balls like phenomenal, and then Jude's gone, "Why have you just done that to me, mate?" It's like, why would you do that? And then Juventus 1, Benfica 2, Maccabi Happy 1, PSG 3. So that. Go on.
Interesting for that, so a good result. But so in the Champions League, the under-19s play simultaneously.
They put
so Ash, vice chairman of Wanderers, his cousin has signed for Maccabi Haifa. So and he put a tweet on about it. They were like, I think they were like 4-0 down against PSG inside like 20 minutes, but he was playing. Yeah, he was on by being live and being as well.
Yeah, they usually play them a couple of hours before the actual game because I went to Anfield to watch Real Madrid there when Ronaldo was in full pomp and Alonso played, absolutely destroyed us, and the Real Madrid lads were in front of us.
Yeah,
so they played earlier on. I think even the afternoon.
Yeah, I think that.
Shower, change, food, and then.
I think that's really good, though, isn't it?
I think it's good because you get obviously opportunity to play different cultures and
exposure
and but then obviously you then get to watch the game as well.
Really good.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Cool. Right, let's talk your cricket. I'm ready for a snooze.
He looked hard. No, just wanted to reflect on the fact that England won the Test match last weekend. Inside 3 days. A bit ridiculous that they weren't allowed to kind of continue to win it on the Sunday evening, but they went off a bad light. But another great performance, and that's 6 wins out of 7.
Do you think that type of aspect where they could have just finished it off is more based upon money?
Yeah, and also I tell you what the official line is, right? The official line is, so when they take a light meter reading, and they decide to go off, that's the light meter reading for the whole of the Test match. Now, the problem with that, the night before they did it, I thought, and people, obviously you don't really need to see, I'm not there, but that if you look on the screen and then you listen and you read about what people were saying, that it was too early, it wasn't that dark. So they've shot themselves in the foot there. So once that light appears on the Sunday evening, they have to go off. And the reason they have to go off and not bring in the common sense, because common sense says England were going for it, full house, with everything else has gone on with Britain 48 hours earlier, full house, to win a Test match, perfect drama, 33 runs to win. England were probably going to go 4 or 5 hours maximum. South Africa weren't throwing the tail in, but they've got the spinner warmed up, so read the room. But the reason they're not allowed to read the room is because of that light meter effect, and the reason being because if, say, it had rained all day on Monday, therefore the Test match would have ended as a draw. And because there's now this World Test Championship points, and South Africa were, and it doesn't matter where they are, but they were at that point top
of the Friendly League.
Top of the Friendly League, yeah. Top of the World Test Match Championship. So technically, if they'd tried to finish it and ignored the law, and it rained all day, South Africa could have had a case.
So I don't understand.
I don't agree with it.
I don't understand why that each day is slightly different. Why would you go off a reading that happens on day one that?
Yeah,
it should be a separate reading, which every day.
There's so many different anomalies, and I agree with you. At the end of the day, unless it gets they've got the lights on, unless it gets dangerous, I think you should play. It's the same with, they should bowl 90 overs in a day. So 90 overs, and weather permitting, should be bowled. And if that means bowling till 7:30 at night, that's your fault.
Well, I think that's also a contentious issue with fans, because you as a fan of football pay to watch 90 minutes of football. You should be paying for the same when you go.
Bear in mind that a Test match day down in London, whatever, is £100 plus.
And then if you think that it finishes half day, it should be.
And there is things for that, like for half days, or if it's a washout and not many overs, you get a refund. But in general circumstances, I pay £120 for a ticket at Lords, and for 90 overs, I want to see 90 overs in the day. All right, if it ends up smashing down with rain for an hour, the last hour, fair enough, you can't help that, but it's ridiculous. But anyway, they got over the line, 6 wins out of 7, what a turnaround. And
then now is Pakistan.
So the white ball team are now in Pakistan on a T20 tour, first time they've toured there for 20 odd years.
And Pakistan just come off the loss of the final against Sri Lanka.
Yeah, what a win for Sri Lanka. See your cricket knowledge, he loves it really. And then England will then go to Australia for the T20 World Cup. And then the next Test match cricket is in Pakistan, end of November, beginning of December.
And then that leads, is that onto the Ashes?
No, Ashes is next summer in England.
Okay, so plenty of time.
So there's a bit of cricket between now and then. Good to see Pakistan. I'm tempted to go to watch the Test match in Pakistan when we break up for Christmas. So you're more than welcome to join, Stu.
Unfortunately, I'm going to go back for a wedding.
Well, which would you rather do?
I'd probably come to the match with you if I'm honest.
There you go. So you're a convert really. But yeah, all in all, a great summer for England. I didn't see it coming. Fair play to Rob Key for making that bold appointment of Stokes and McCullum, and fair play to them and the team in buying into what they're doing. And
excellent. That's
cool.
Long may that continue.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Your last thing before we look at fantasy football is Federer. So I'm completely oblivious to what has gone on here. I can only guess that he's retired.
Correct, he's retired. And as he retired, so he plays the Laver Cup in London, I think, this week or next week. And he's announced his retirement from the game. So that's Serena and Federer, both retired. Arguably the two greatest tennis players ever are now finished.
Done and dusted.
What a legend he is, though.
Oh,
he has an aura, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I always remember.
I would say all three of them that have been playing, like your Djokovic, your Federer, what's the Spanish lad called? Nadal, all had that something about them that just seemed people gravitated towards. Obviously Nadal was just unbelievable on clay court. Federer and Djokovic were just unbelievable tennis players. Yeah,
I think that I once read or listened to, I can't just remember, a long time ago about how top level sportsmen, not the certain sports people, just like a movie star celebrity, have what they call like a movie star aura about them. And it could be because of what they've achieved and their physiques and their looks and stuff like that, but Federer is definitely one. When you see him walk into a court, like, he's got an aura when you watch it on the television. And I remember when Kevin Peterson came and opened their nets at Woodhall in 2012, and it's probably the first time that I'd been around a sportsman that I felt what I'd read.
Yeah.
That he just had this aura. He's massive, he's 6'5", 6 foot, so he's big. He's got, and of course, you know, he's got the money, so he knows he's got the looks as well. And there was just this aura around him, and I thought, do you know what, you're right. And there's I think Federer's one. I guess somebody like Beckham's another one.
Yeah.
Ronaldo probably the same. Although Ronaldo's attitude and things like that probably demeans that a little bit. But yeah, a custodian of tennis is on his way out.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about fact. There's not really much to talk about.
No, other than I need to remember to make some changes.
It's more of a reminder, but you need to do that now. And by the time you guys have picked this up, we've already started. Big news. Matty finally did a trade. I think
in the draft.
The first official trade between any players in our
What
league.
did you trade?
I traded Marcus Rashford for Isaac. I just thought that I put that out there. I thought I'd dangle that carrot. I thought it was too good for him not to. So United don't play.
Yeah, this is the problem. Look, I'm looking at the Premier League fantasy now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 players in the squad.
That what we're playing.
I can't transfer 6.
Free hit. Take a free hit. Or do you go wild card? I'm thinking about using
which is which. Card. I always remember.
Free hit is change the team for this week. Revert back to that one.
Yeah, and wild. That's what wild card is. Change everybody and it sticks.
So I might wild card it, but yeah, that is big on the old draft. Who do you think's got the better deal there?
And you've got.
I got Isaac for Newcastle centre forward. He's got Marcus Rashford.
Well, Rashford's currently out injured, so I know he's not got a game this week, so I don't know. I don't know, because I'm not sure. I think it was you said about this Isaac fella that when he starts at clubs, he has
an absolute unbelievable
dips and then goes again. I don't know. I think what I would say is that Isaac's probably more of a definite starter.
But I think Isaac has that pressure that he has to perform because if he doesn't score, Wood comes on around 60, 70th minute mark, and then when Callum Wilson's back, I think Isaac is not a case of he can't rest on his laurels at Newcastle because they will have players that will push him out.
Because you see, I fear for Rashford. He's had a good start to the season, which is good. Because I like him. I think he's a good lad. But my fear is now that if he's injured, it keeps him out for next weekend. You know, he's knocking at the door, and then once he gets back in and scores goals,
Well, have you seen that Greenwood's back in the squad?
What?
There's a rumour that they're including Greenwood.
And how can that be unless that's going to get thrown out? Obviously, if it just get thrown out, then fair enough.
I saw something through social medias. I think it might have been yesterday that Greenwood is potentially on the verge. I may be completely wrong. It may turn out completely false, but
I would say
there's a little rumour floating around.
I'm going to back you. I say you've got the best deal with Arthur at the minute in current situation.
I'm trying to trade Grealish for who was the other offer? But the problem is nobody looks at transfers, do they?
No.
I think I put Grealish in with a swap for might be Saka from Arsenal. I thought that might be a tempting one.
I'd keep Saka. Whoever's got Saka.
But we shall see. But at the end of the day, Jack.
What do we?